Hey, this is Antonio. Welcome back to my channel. We're going to have some fighting words. So in this video, I want to talk about an upcoming bout with Gervonta Tank Davis versus Mario Barrios. Now, I know what you're thinking. This fight is probably going to be at 130, 135 pounds. No, this fight is actually at 140 pounds. Tank has decided to move up in weight. I will make another video regarding his opponent, Mario Barrios. However, this video is more geared at Tank and his decision to move up from 130 to 140 and how he will vary, skill-wise at that weight. So my thoughts when I first saw this was, I don't necessarily know how Tank is going to do at 140 pounds. Mainly not because of his power. I think his power will actually translate and actually move with him. I'm not solely worried about his power. My only concern was Tank isn't the tallest guy in the world. And, you're only going up 2 weight classes. However, the higher up in weight you go, the taller your opponents are. He is giving up some reach right there. And he is fighting bigger opponents. Now, with him fighting bigger opponents, you're talking about somebody with a lot more mass. And when you're dealing with more mass, that means they have more capability of taking what you give them in terms of punching power. So, do I think that his power will translate at 140? Absolutely. I know for a fact that Tank fights or spars much bigger guys. Absolutely. I think his weight will translate very well at 140 pounds. My question will be, is how will it be received? We know what happens at 130 or 135 when Tank hits somebody. It's pretty much lights out, good night. But we don't really know what's going to happen at 140. The only thing that kept really popping in my mind was Adrien Broner. How at 140, Adrien was explosive. And then he moves up to welterweight 147, and all that kind of went out the window. If he was winning, he was just barely getting by winning. His opponents weren't necessarily afraid of his pop. He didn't have much pop at that weight. He was still fighting like himself, but he was pretty much on his back foot. He's pretty much on his back foot when he's fighting at 147. I think he's a lot stronger at 140. I think he has a lot more power at 140. I think he has a lot more speed at 140. And I think he's a lot more agile and he's able to do certain things in the ring at 140 than he is at 147. Now, with that being said, what does that mean for Tank? Well, one positive thing it's definitely going to mean for Tank is I don't see why he would miss weight again if he's coming in at 140. It just seemed like 130 was too. I don't want to say he wasn't disciplined. I just think some people carry muscle differently. And sometimes when it comes to weight, those last few pounds are very difficult to get off, especially if you haven't been living the fighter lifestyle. And then you go into a training camp. If you just go into a training camp, well, then probably the majority of your training camp is going to be focused on getting that extra weight up off of you. Much like, again, Adrien Broner in his last contest. But if he's living a fighter's lifestyle, I don't see any reason why, he can't easily make 140 pounds, to be honest with you. I think he could do that quite easily, and I don't think he would have to kill himself to get to that weight also, which means he would probably fight better on the night of. So again, my only question is, how will his opponents take the blows, the shots? How are they going to react and respond to what he gives them in the ring? That's my only question. In which case, we're going to find out soon, I suppose. I'm excited for this because I feel like this is another step in competition. He may not be fighting the top of the top, but when you're going up in weight, I think they kind of even out. And what I mean is this. You can fight number 2 in your weight class. So let's just say, for example, your weight class is 130 and you're fighting number 2. And then let's say we fight number 5 at a higher weight class. So number 5 may not be as skilled as number 2. However, number 5 is a lot bigger than number 2. Number 5 is a lot more mass than number 2. Number 5 should hit harder than number 2. So they will kind of even out is what I'm trying to say. So I think this is going to be, I think this is going to answer a lot of questions. I really do. I think it will answer a lot of questions. I think it's going to most importantly answer the question of where he's going to spend the majority of his career. Because he's still very young, so to say that he's going to spend his entire career at a certain weight is kind of ridiculous. I do know Tank can get up in weight. However, again, with his height and his reach, I don't think that's in his best interest. I think 140 or some catch weight at 142 or something like that would be the best for him. Could he knock out a welterweight? I definitely think he could knock out a welterweight. Would he have the fight of his life in doing so? I definitely believe he would have the fight of his life in doing so. It wouldn't be easy. I don't want to see Tank going up against a Sean Porter or a Danny Garcia. I don't think it would fare too well for him, to be honest with you. But again, we will see, because when he fights at 140, that's going to answer a lot of questions. Because the next natural step is going to be maybe we can do a catch weight, 142, 144. And then, who knows, somewhere down the line, we can be looking at welterweight. So those are my thoughts. You tell me what you think down below, and as always, like and subscribe.